Do you know the secret story about Rick's brother in The Walking Dead? Yeah, Jeffrey Grimes. A very interesting story about a brother that sent a message to Rick Grimes with many details and many references that in the future it can be shown in live action, like in Daryl Dixon in the 4th season, the spin-off. Yeah, in this video I will tell about the story, all the curiosities we have, everything, and if you wanna know, stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel, my name is João Victor and I'm back to talk about the Walking Dead universe again, and now about a secret story, about a story that many people don't know. Many people know but don't remember, don't know many details, but it's a very important story related to our main protagonist, related to Rick Grimes, that recently we had the first mention that came from someone from the production of The Walking Dead that in the future they can show about this character. Yeah, let's talk about Jeffrey Grimes, but first don't forget to check the like in this video, it helps me a lot with the promotion, and also don't forget to subscribe in this channel so you don't miss any content about the Walking Dead universe and many other shows. And let's go. Let's start by saying some details about who Jeffrey Grimes is. Yeah, this guy, Rick Grimes' young brother, you can see his photo here. As much as he looks like a teenager, he's not. He is 32 years old in the story. What is known about him before the story, I'm going to tell here. Like before the apocalypse itself, before the outbreak, are a few things like, for example, the event of him breaking his ankle at school, where he forced his brother Rick to protect him. There's also a very interesting point that influenced in the main story of The Walking Dead, that Jeffrey Grimes was one of Laurie's best friends. Jeffrey was the one who introduced Laurie to Rick and started the whole relationship. He is around the same age as her in the beginning of The Walking Dead, and then we start to get closer to the point of the story that we have in a comic. Robert Kirkman, the creator, the original writer of The Walking Dead, released a separated version of the comics that is canon, and the name is The Walking Dead The Alien, just to tell the story about Jeffrey. And talking about him, after he finished the college, he didn't have much to do, and in order to save money and execute his life plans, he started working with construction. All this came from this comic, some revelations that he tells along the story. Over time, he managed to save money and execute his plans, which was actually to go around the world, visit several places, and the first of them was Barcelona in Spain. That's where everything happens. And it was during his trip that was the moment when he found out that his brother Rick had been shot and was admitted to the hospital in a coma. At that moment, Jeffrey was already very worried and tried to return home. But at the exact moment he tried to return, a quarantine had already been implemented in the place because of the outbreak, so he couldn't get back home, and his whole story takes place in Barcelona. And so the story of the comic begins. Apparently, it's been a few days since the outbreak started, and he wakes up on the terrace of a building where he was sleeping, apparently a safe place, listening to someone asking for help. And when he looks down, he comes across a little boy about the same age as Carl in the beginning of The Walking Dead, running away from a herd of zombies and asking for help. And in the continuation of the story, Jeffrey goes down to try to help the boy, but it's too late. The zombies are already on top of him. He tries to attack the zombie with a flashlight, which is something not very effective. It shows that the character is not so strong nor so smart, and when he falls and the zombie is going to bite him, it will be the end of the story. A mysterious character appears, saving him. A person using a medieval armor, a helmet, and a sword, attacking the zombie, saving him. So this person asks him to get on the motorcycle for them to leave. Jeffrey regrets that the boy was left behind, but this mysterious character himself says that there's no way, it's gone. But at this point, you can already see this character's empathy. He worries about the boy that was attacked. He doesn't know him, but he spent some moments in the story remember this as well. And then at this moment, Jeffrey asks this person why this person saved him, and the person responds precisely by saying that he is a useful person for something, which is not explained at the beginning. But soon, this person is already revealed to be a woman named Claudia. She is who saved Jeffrey. And the story continues with this Claudia taking him to a hiding place, a safe place. Arriving there at the hideout, Jeffrey begins a session of questions and doubts regarding her. The first is how she got that helmet and the armor, and she replies that she apparently worked at a military museum, and when everything chipped, she took the opportunity to take this armor and escape. And then at this moment we had those initial revelations, those curiosities that I revealed in the beginning of the video. She asks where he comes from, his whole story. He says that he came from the United States and everything, and the reason he didn't come come home. He wanted to see his brother who went into a coma but couldn't because of the quarantine. That's when Claudia responds to him saying that she would be able to help him, but first he has something she needs. She says that she's also interested in going to the United States, so she would take him precisely because she learned that people from United States know about the cure or something to resolve this problem. And then we see some false hope, because in real life there's no cure, there's no one that found the cure in The Walking Dead, and her plan was to go there to find the cure and go back to her country. She would get the cure, come back and treat people there. Her initial plan would be to take a boat from a port that is a mile from her house, and from that boat sail to Ibiza. There in Ibiza her boss would have a plane. He would be waiting for her to escape, so probably the boss must really love her. This woman must have some relationship with the boss. That's when she explains why Jeffrey is useful. Why did she save him? Precisely because he has a flashlight. That's it. Instead of her just killing him or abandon him and stealing the flashlight, she saved him, so she must still like him a little. She has some attraction, you can understand this, but the use of this flashlight would be for them to go to the boat that is a mile away. As there are several zombies on the street, they would pass underneath the sewer, and down there's a lot of methane, a lot of flammable things. They can't light a fire, a candle, and a flashlight would be fine. So they go to sleep so that the next day they can go to execution of the plane. The woman puts on the armor to protect herself. She says that she can't give to Jeffrey it because it's too small for him, but she gives him a mace, like that heavy medieval thing to be able to fight, for him to defend himself. So they begin to walk through the sewers. As soon as they arrive at the stop, she promises to go up and let them know if everything is okay. When she sticks her head out, she says, "Let's go, it's okay." But when Jeffrey puts his head out, in fact, everything is surrounded by the herd of the zombies. So it proves the woman is really crazy. And then they go on a very crazy race to get to the boat that is right next to them. In the middle of it, they almost get caught, and even zombie rips Jeffrey's backpack that drops several belongings, including his passport. And then we have a reality check. He yells at Claudia about the passport, and she says it doesn't matter anymore, it's gone. And finally, apparently, everything seems to be calm. They manage to get to the boat all calm and resting. But that's where the big problem of this whole story arrives. Precisely because we have a zombie on the boat. The sailor who was on the boat turned into a zombie and tries to catch Jeffrey from behind. At that moment, Claudia saves him by sticking a spear in the zombie, but with the impact and with the movement of the boat, Claudia and the zombie fall from the boat and disappear in the middle of the sea, and Jeffrey watches desperately. And that's when the character makes the decision that he shouldn't have made. He decides to jump and dive into the sea there to save her. He succeeds, he hits, he kicks the zombie in a very dangerous way and pulls Claudia back on the top of the boat, which seems to be fine now once again. But that's when the saddest moment in the story arrives. When they get on the boat, which seems to be fine, actually isn't, because when Claudia looks at Jeffrey's foot, he is bleeding. Yeah, the zombie, during the kick that Jeffrey gave him at the bottom of the sea, bit his leg in the ankle area there, so he's infected. At this moment, we have an impact of great sadness. Saying this, I imagine that they could cut off his leg, but I don't think they would have things to make this guy survive there in the high seas, nor would they know about this point in the beginning of the outbreak, because many people don't know about it in the beginning. That's when Jeffrey hands the medieval weapon to Claudia, asking her to finish him, but first he says something very important. He asks that if she arrives in the United States, deliver a message to his brother, Richie. We mean Rick Grimes, that we know from The Walking Dead, the main character of the show in the comics. It was confirmed by Robert Kirkman that it was the same character. So he asks her to say that his kid brother was sorry, he never got to pay him back for all the times he stood up for him. Tell Rick, I'm sorry I never got to be the knight in shining armor, but at least I got to meet one. And that's when the story ends with a big question mark, because Claudia asks, where do I find him? How am I going to find him? But Jeffrey doesn't respond anymore. At that moment, he must have become a zombie. And the story ends in a sad way with this scene of this boat from afar, Claudia asking if he is alive and the blood flowing. Everything suggests that at that moment, Claudia finished him and continued her trip with the aim of taking this message to Rick. And that was the story. I know that from this arise several questions. The very first one of them is about Claudia. Claudia, if this character will appear in The Walking Dead in some story. She will appear in the show, in the spin-off. We will see her in the Daryl Dixon spin-off, because in this third season that is coming, we will see something about Spain. They will arrive in Spain. And also, there's some scenes about Barcelona in the trailer. We had a recent revelation from Greg Nicotero, that is an executive producer from Daryl Dixon, that they considered some idea about Jeffrey Grimes in the story of Daryl Dixon season 3. But they didn't use that so far. In the future, they can use this, so probably in the 4th season. That will be the last one from Daryl Dixon's spin-off. Maybe some Easter egg, maybe Daryl finding Claudia and knowing about Rick's brother, knowing some story, knowing about what happened to him, that he died in the beginning of the outbreak. Because we never heard Rick Grimes saying about a brother in the live action, in the series. But we never heard Rick saying about many other family members. The first time we heard him saying about his father was last year, 2024, in The Ones Who Live. So they can do this addition in the story, no problem, yeah. And also, do you like this story? Do you like about Jeffrey Grimes? Do you want to see him in the future? Go write in the comments what you think. Also, don't forget to check the like in this video, it helps me a lot with the promotion. Don't forget to subscribe in this channel, it's very important so you don't miss any content about The Walking Dead that will make many others. I will make the coverage about the 3rd season of Daryl Dixon here. Thank you for your patience with my English, as I used to say in all my videos to the newcomers. This is not my native language, but I'm keep trying to improve it. Thank you for watching this video, I'll be back soon and bye.